Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Grand Theft Auto 5 video, I'm going to be teaching you some pretty cool tips and things you might not have known about the Mobile Operations Center. These huge beasts, as you guys know, were added in Grand Theft Auto Online gun running, and there's a lot of cool things that you might not have known you can do with them. So without the wait, let's not waste any more time, and let's get it started. All right, so the first thing we're going to be doing today is something that I think is incredible, but also something I think Rockstar might patch going forward. So a user in my Boss for the Win Discord actually showed me this, and I couldn't believe it. It's basically a way in which you could steal MOCs from people. So if you ever have someone else in the lobby who is driving an MOC and they're being very pesky, or you just want to get rid of them or maybe troll them, this is how you can literally steal their MOC cab. So here's what you need. You need a truck or a vehicle that can haul something like the MOC. So this could be a Phantom, this could be a hauler. What I recommend is the Phantom Wedge from the Import-Export update. It's the fastest. It can also move things out of the way in a great style. So I recommend you use the Phantom Wedge. What you want to do after that is go in passive mode. Once you're in passive mode, you need to find your target in the MOC. And then step number 4 is literally the easiest process. You just want to drive through them because you're in passive mode. And then you want to basically align your truck with where their truck is. And if you do this correctly, their MOC will become your MOC, and then you can take it and you can drive it away. Now, when you do this, it's going to kick you out of passive mode, but I think the objective is done here. You have successfully taken this person's MOC, and then you're really free to do whatever you want with it. You can destroy it, you can just drive away. Players that are still on the inside are going to be like, what the heck just happened? They're not going to have a single clue what has occurred because their view is pretty limited aside from what they can see on the exterior cannons of the MOC. So that right there is awesome. It is a pretty cool way in which you can either troll your friends or other players in the lobby. As I mentioned earlier, Rockstar is likely to patch this. There needs to be a way in which you can lock the cab to the trailer. I imagine in a future update, there's going to be a feature that will be implemented because that is just so overpowered, the ability to basically steal someone's mobile operation center. So that is pretty cool. Again, big thanks to the guys in the Boss for the Win Discord for showing this to me. That is absolutely hysterical. And I honestly couldn't believe it when they said, you know, hey, Mr. Boss, you can steal MOCs this way. And I was like, what the heck? So that's pretty cool. And that is tip number 1. Tip number 2, I'm going to be showing you guys how you can get your MOC to spawn in instantaneously. So you guys know when you call in the MOC via the interaction menu, sometimes it isn't delivered really anywhere near you. It'll be in like back alleys, or it'll be, 30 seconds to a minute away. That can be kind of inconvenient. And I'm guessing due to the size of the MOC, Rockstar have various set spawn points that allow it to spawn in no matter what. So that even if it's in a crowded area, there's no way in which you can be denied your MOC. Well, we want to be able to get it right next to us instantly. And we're going to be doing that right now. So in order to do that, you're going to need one requirement, and that is to be a motorcycle club president. So you're going to have to buy a MZ Clubhouse. I would imagine by now most of you have that. And then what you want to do is simply call in your mobile operations center like normal via the interaction menu. But here's where you need to be quick. Once you do that, you need to go to the interaction menu again, go to the biker club president, and just request your bike over and over and over again. Even if it spawns in, return it to storage, request it again, return it to storage, request it again. And if you do that correctly, instead of it being spawned in some predetermined location, it will spawn right next to you. And it should spawn right next to you with the bike you've chosen too. So my oppressor and my MOC were selected right next to each other. Now, this is great for a multitude of reasons. Number 1, the Mobile Operations Center is the only place in which you can customize a vehicle like the Oppressor or the APC tank or the Dune Loader half-track. It's also the only place in which you can start the missions, like the ones for the select vehicles. It's also the only place in which you can get new ammo for the Mark II weapons. So there's lots of uses for the MOC, and the ability to be able to spawn it in instantly is pretty convenient in my opinion. Now, I did recognize that this works best with no other players around. If there are other players around, it might default to the random location. So I did have to play around with this once or twice, but I did eventually get it to work. And I will say it is way more convenient than having to drive, a minute or 2 minutes away in order to try and find it in some back alley. So that is a great tip right there. All right, the next tip I can give you guys, do not buy the living quarters upgrade for the Mobile Operations Center. So if you want to waste $145,000, absolutely be my guest. The living quarters is described as comfy chairs, wardrobe, a range of tasteful color schemes. Just because you're bringing death and terror to any corner of the globe that takes your fancy doesn't mean you don't deserve a few creature comforts. So literally, and I mean literally, the only thing that the living quarters get you is a place to sit down. I'm not even joking. So let's talk about the upgrades you get here. Well, for starters, you get a bowl of fruit that you cannot use or eat, so there's no way to gain health. You also have a sink that you cannot use. You have an oven that you cannot use either. Oh wait, there's a closet. That's got to be a new feature. Nope, you have that in the command center as well. Well, what's going on here? You know, we've got a bed. Can we spawn in here? Nope. Can we sleep in here? Nope. We can't do anything that we can't already do with the command center. So literally what you get here is a place to sit down and do nothing. So do not buy the living quarters. It is the ultimate waste of money. So I don't know how many of you guys haven't bought the MOC or are still deciding. Hopefully at least, a handful of people catch this video and say, okay, the living quarters, not a good idea, should probably not do that. So that is tip number 3. Tip number 4, you guys know that you can apply your crew color to most things in game, like t-shirts and even weapons now. Well, you can also do it on vehicles and the MOC. However, you guys know when you change your crew, it doesn't automatically switch all the crew colors that you have on existing vehicles. That would be dumb because the crew colors give you a ton of flexibility and freedom to make some pretty cool colors, and you wouldn't want every single car defaulting to the new one. Well, unfortunately, that's the way the new MOC works. If you have an old crew color, it will be overwritten. I think that's the right way to say it. It will be overridden by the new crew color. So for example, I've got this bright red one on right now. If I were to change my crew color to, let's say, yellow, without even having to make the switch, my entire MOC would become yellow. So again, that's another thing I wish Rockstar would tinker with a little bit, as I'm not changing my crew often, but I know people that do a lot, and that would make their MOCs turn different colors. And I know I recognize mine by the bright red cab, especially when there's a lot in the area. So if it were to be changed, that might be slightly difficult. Okay, moving on, tip number 5. A lot of people associate the MOC with only stuff that you can do in gun running. Well, that doesn't seem to be the case. You can use this in the finance and felony supply runs, the biker business stuff, and even the new CEO import-export stuff. I saw this photo that was posted the other day, and I thought it was incredibly funny. So you guys know the import-export mission that actually requires you to basically go to where cars are having a race and stop them? Well, sometimes it's pretty difficult because the NPCs are moving fairly quickly. Well, look at this photo right here, as basically the MOC has become a giant fishing net for these cars, stopping them and then allowing the individual to take out the one he needs and then grab it and go. Honestly, as silly as this looks, it's a great way in which to avoid damage to the vehicle. You don't have to shoot the driver, and it's an easy way in which you can quickly do it without having to fuss around with having to pick out the right car. So again, something like that is pretty funny, but you can use this for a variety of the other MC missions and everything like that. So I thought that that was just one perfect example right there. And then finally, last but not least, the really last thing I wanted to test out was something I had seen, which was if you start a mission in the MOC, it'll put you exactly where the mission starts. So for example, if you do contact missions and you just do them randomly in the world, you won't start at the contact mission location. You'll start where you are, and sometimes that could be really far away. So the rumor was if you start them inside the mobile operations center, that you'll start right at the area. So we're going to start Rooftop Rumble here and see what happens. Well, unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be the case. As you can see, I entered my MOC from the location that you guys saw, and I'm still pretty far away from the parking lot required in Rooftop Rumble. So that would have been one of those really positive quirks and features of the MOC, but unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be the case. And no matter what you do, you will still spawn in the exact location, and you won't be any closer to your mission objective. But anyways, that's all the information I've got for you guys in this video today. Some cool tips, tricks, things you might not have known about the MOC, and a whole lot more. If you did go and enjoy this video, though, a like rating would of course be awesome. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new, or you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.